from here on out, I'm only going to say this one time. If you have not read the series or the book at all, this entire video contains spoilers. You made it that far, but I would highly recommend, if you don't want to be spoiled about how awesome the series is, come back to this video and we can compare fun times whenever you're done reading or listening to the book, okay? Because I don't want to spoil some like crazy shit happening, because I do. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Like, I can't scream it enough. Howdy Hey Cowpokes, it's Conway Teddy here, and welcome back to another book talk-esque video where I kind of just talk about everything I read and or dive into a series that I absolutely loved. And today we are going to be talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl. This absolutely came into my life and blew me away. When I tell you, this fucking series smacked me in the goddamn face. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop. I was fully addicted to this series. And now it is a series, and especially just even book one, I recommend to everyone to fucking read. So I wanted to do a full analysis of the book. I basically wanted to kind of break down each book, talk about the parts that I loved in each book, talk about things that I highlighted each book. Spoiler, it's a fucking lot that I did. And it was part of my May monthly reads, but I didn't want to include it in that video because I wanted to have its own video. And it is absolutely well-deserved hype around the entire series. This has been a book that a lot of people have talked about, and you're probably like, what the fuck is this? What is going on? Like, I'm not into fantasy. I don't want to read an RPG book. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Shut the fuck up and read it. Read the first book. And if you don't like it, I'm not going to say we can't be friends. I'm not going to say that you have bad taste in literature, but I will be judging if you absolutely hate these series. So, kind of first things first, let's kind of dive into and give you guys the definition of what a LitRPG is if you don't know what LitRPG is and you're just new to this, or you just saw this video and clicked on me and was like, I'll check this out because it's either me or it is in the random algorithm on YouTube. LitRPG is short for literary role-playing game. It is a literary genre that combines elements of role-playing games, RPGs, and especially those kind of like found in video games with the traditional storytelling narrative in kind of sci-fi, which is science fiction, or fantasy. It's kind of characterized by stories where characters, often within the game or the game-like setting, interact with game mechanics like leveling up, gaining stats, and completing quests. That is the definition of a lit RPG. And if you're not really familiar with any type of like dungeon books or Dungeons and Dragons, D&D game playing, or any like TTRPG, which is tabletop role-playing games, this will definitely be a book that I think someone could read if they have no idea about any kind of role-playing games, that aren't into Dungeons and Dragons, that aren't into any dice games or table games like this. I still think the story overall is very easy to follow. It's very entertaining. It's so much fun. And if you're going to read this series and any of the books, I highly, highly recommend being an immersive reader. An immersive reader means you are also listening to the audiobook while reading the physical copy. If you aren't reading the physical copy, at least listen to the audiobook, because Jeff Hayes is the narrator and he does an amazing job throughout the entire series of creating these really dynamic characters, and Jeff Hayes really gives these characters and brings them to life. His voice acting is incredible. You really can start to pair what characters are saying with his voice, even if you're like not listening to the audio. If you listen to the first audiobook and then you continue to read without it, amazing. But I would just recommend immersive reading for this entire series. It's so fucking good. It's so damn good. And I think by the 6th book, they start bringing in special guests, which is even more fun, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But let's dive into Dungeon Crawler Carl, Book 1. Like how I do with any of my other kind of monthly reads, I'm going to be giving you a little summary of each book, kind of let you know what's kind of happening in the story. And this will be the description that is pulled from either the back of the book in the little section when you're trying to figure out if you want to buy the book, or on Goodreads.
A man, his ex-girlfriend's cat, a sadistic game show unlike anything in the universe, a dungeon crawl where survival depends on killing your prey in the most entertaining way possible. In a flash, every human erected construction on Earth, from Buckingham Palace to the tiniest sheds, collapses in a heap, sinking into the ground. The buildings and all the people inside have been atomized and transformed into the dungeon. An 18 level labyrinth filled with traps and monsters and loot. A dungeon so enormous it encircles the entire globe. Only few dare venture inside. But once you're in, you can't get out. And what's worse, each level has a time limit. You have but days to find a staircase to the next level down, or it's game over. In this game, it's not about your strength or your dexterity, it's about your followers, your views, your clout. It's about building an audience and killing those goblins in style. You can't just survive here. You gotta survive big. You gotta fight with vigor, with excitement. You gotta make them stand up and cheer. Are you not entertained? And if you do have that it factor, you may just find yourself with a following. And that's the only way to truly survive in this game. With the help of loot boxes, dropped upon you by generous benefactors watching from across the galaxy. They call it Dungeon Crawler World. But for Carl, it's anything but a game.
There's the description of the book, and if that from that you don't want to read, fuck off, because that's amazing. So, all of these books I rated a 5 out of 5 stars, except for book number 2, I rated a 4.75 out of 5 stars. Still pretty high, but book 2 is probably my least favorite out of the whole series. So, like, they're all fucking good, but I do have a favorite. So, the whole series, let's start from there, is a top read of 2025 for me, and I cannot believe how awesome this book was. And honestly, I was just kind of like the whole time going, where has this been my entire life? And it was the fucking bee's knees, it was the cat's pajamas, it was the duck's quack, it was the like snake's hips, the fucking bullfrog's beard, like hot damn. And I honestly have truly nothing but the absolute best things to say about this book and the series. I have a few of my favorite quotes that I did highlight throughout the journey, which is why I'm doing an entire video about it. But we're gonna go kind of, I had notes as I went along because there was so much fun stuff happening that I wanted to make sure I took down notes of like what I enjoyed most about each section of the book. I want to go through kind of what I enjoyed about the book, and then I'm going to go through my highlighted section and read you what I specifically highlighted, just so you can be like, what the fuck? And literally from here on out, I'm only going to say this one time. If you have not read the series or the book at all, this entire video contains spoilers. You made it that far, but I would highly recommend, if you don't want to be spoiled about how awesome the series is, come back to this video and we can compare fun times whenever you're done reading or listening to the book, okay? Because I don't want to spoil some like crazy shit happening, because I do. Spoilers. Like, I can't scream it enough. Here's your opportunity to click away now. Okay, and we're back. Let's dive into these little sections that I have marked about book number 1. So the first fucking line that I wrote here is, I read the juicer's voice in chapter 24 as Britton Lee Mulligan's chaotic tone, and honestly, that just made me laugh out loud. Like, Britton Lee Mulligan is so fucking funny and like genuinely just so fucking hilarious that not only that, it's even though I was listening to it in Jeff Hayes' voice, I don't know why, but the specific voice he gave for the juicer in chapter 24 was just so BLM-esque. You know what I mean? Like, I just was so entranced by it, and I was cackling out loud. I thought it was so fucking funny. The whole foot fetish thing in the system, kind of the system has with Carl throughout the entire books, was also, like, genuinely hilarious. So it says, Chapter 32, unvaccinated Cluricon rev-up consultant being the hillbillies of leprechauns that have magical magical moonshine that they sell from their MLM pyramid scheme that's not a pyramid scheme is amazing. Okay, these are my notes, so sometimes they'll make sense, sometimes they won't. The Crakaran's description. Hilarious. Just absolutely fucking hilarious. I'll show you on the highlighted notes in a minute. And the entire cliffhanger was perfection, and I immediately picked up the second book. Like, I couldn't stop. When I tell you I couldn't stop until I was finished with the series, I couldn't fucking stop. So here's some highlighted quotes that I have that was paired with my kind of Goodreads. Once I started realizing that, oh, if I'm highlighting on Kindle Unlimited, it automatically will show up on my Goodreads, and that's how I'll keep track. I didn't know that until literally May of this year, so I started doing that more often. So you'll start hearing me in my future videos of like lines that I enjoy the most from each book. This one is, quote, "Did we really start a meth war between goblins and the llamas?" An incredible line, and if you don't know what I'm fucking talking about, you gotta read the book. Next is new achievement. I can't do it in the Jeff Hayes' voice, but you guys know exactly, you can hear it. New achievement! War criminal. You have killed more than 20 non-combatants in a single attack. Question? What's the only thing standing between an innocent child and a happy, fulfilling life? Answer? You! The answer is you! Reward. You've received a gold assholes box. I'm trying to read it in the cadence. Another achievement. New achievement! 2 chicks at the same time. You killed 2 mobs at once using only their bodies against each other. Here's another one. The once mighty warriors conquered the Orcish supremacy hundreds of years ago, defeating all the other clans. They are now shells of the mighty warriors they once wore. The honorarium knight roughly translates to overweight alcoholic bureaucrat who spends his days making new laws to oppress the poor and his nights drinking and getting pegged. Are you kidding? That line is so true, by the way. These are just so funny. So here's the unvaccinated Cluricon rev up consultant. Level 3. If you hear banjo music, run. Cluricons are distant hillbilly relatives of the leprechauns, and while the leprechauns are said to guard vast piles of gold, the only thing Cluricons might hoard are Polaroids of their own sisters sitting on the can and questionable business schemes. This particular sect is one of the unvaccinated variety. Don't let them sneeze on you. It's so fucking funny! It's so funny. Oh my god, it's so funny. Here's like an item they found. Rev up. Toilet grade moonshine. Type? Accelerant. Effect? Highly flammable liquid. Explosive fumes. Status: will not activate until introduced to a flame. At 180 proof, this moonshine will take the hair off your chest, then put it back on. That is my favorite way to describe moonshine, is it'll either put hair on your chest, but the fact that Matt was like, you know what, it'll take it off and put it back on. I just thought it was so funny. The door to the boss chamber looked like the entrance to some sort of community center. It had live, laugh, love written on the top of the door and a little cutout, wooden letters. Under that was a schedule of events. The next event scheduled was for noon on the day after the collapse. It read, "Good news, everyone! Little Brenna Lee has the chicken pox. Potluck pox party here at noon. No peanuts. Let's get that immunity."
It's giving, hey mamas, hey, my littles, I'm a mama bear. Hi mamas.
It's giving those fucking crazy Facebook mom groups. I thought that was just so stupid and funny to put in there. Part of a collective mind intent upon destroying any semblance of scientific progress in the universe, the Crakaran is the only communal brain entity in the galaxy who actually gets stupider as time moves on. Consisting of multiple shrieking tentacles, members of the Crakaran Cooperative spend their days birthing these disease-laden minions, creating and selling harmful products, attempting to debate scientific experts, and proselytizing to the weak-minded, all in an attempt to, well, nobody knows what the hell their end goal is. the fucking monsters being Karens is like another level of funny. I like the way this sentence was written. There's only so many ways you could be like, they broke a bone. Owie. And you gotta get creative with it. I really enjoyed this phrase. These shoulders cracked, and I used my finger to ram her all the way in there, like trying to stuff a Cornish game hen into a thermos. An insane way to describe a scene, but you can visualize it. This one was just, some of these are just funny to me. It tasted as if I'd taken a drink directly from the diseased asshole of an incontinent skunk. It took all my strength not to vomit. I believe that was where he was drinking the moonshine for the first time, or drinking a potion, if I can remember. This was talking about the Krakaren. They'd taken some sort of cosmic octopus creature and combined it with your average suburban anti-vax let me talk to your manager mom. And also the whole ridiculous story with the MLM moonshine certainly made it seem that way. And then like towards the end of the book, there's this line in here that's just so funny, and if you get it, you'll get it, and it's such a meme lord fucking thing to say. But it says, just remember what happened to Harambe. There ain't no zookeepers around to shoot the monster's ass if you bite off more than you can chew. Stupid. Stupid. Big, dumb, stupid. So on to book 2. Book 2 is titled Carl's Doomsday Scenario. Here's the summary little excerpt from the back of the book, or the Goodreads descriptions.
The training levels have concluded. Now the games may truly begin. The ratings and views are off the chart. The fans just can't get enough. The dungeon gets more dangerous each day. But in a grinder design to chew up and spit out crawlers by the millions, Carl and Princess Donut need to work harder than ever just to survive. They call it the Overcity, a sprawling, once thriving metropolis devastated by a mysterious calamity. But these streets are far from abandoned. An undead circus trawls the ruins. Murdered prostitutes rain from the sky. An ancient spell is finally ready to reveal its dark purpose. Carl still has no pants.
So I rated this one a 4.75 out of 5 stars. It wasn't like my favorite book of the series, but it was still really good and really up there. And honestly, the series at this point was like blazing through my life. That's all I wanted to do was sit and read. It was also my birthday week, so I did nothing but fucking sit and read this series morning and night until I literally was falling asleep holding the book. And honestly, I'm trying to, like, as I was reading, I was really trying to savor and hold on for dear life that I like, this is gonna be the first time I read this book. It's like watching your favorite TV show for the first time. It's like once you've watched it so many times, you're like, God, this is my favorite show. You wish you could go back and and watch it one more time for the very first time. That's how I was feeling when reading this series for the first time. I just was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. So I really was like saving every hilarious detail and just loved it. So, but here are some of my favorite parts from book 2 before I start reading highlight sections. So the manager move was an incredible choice, and the holy shit, it kind of became a perfect cliffhanger at the ending of book 1. Honestly, it was a well-played move, and it kind of shifts into book 2 perfectly, and it just was like you really wanted to know what was going to happen, and it just immediately went into that. The entire growth of Mongo. He is like this precious little widow dinosaur baby that truly, I think, has stolen all the hearts of the readers at this point. The very last paragraph in chapter 16 is absolutely hilarious. In chapter 17, the city elves' descriptions from Mordecai, just that. And then chapter 19, talking about alien abductions really being a thing and the explanation for them. And I kind of was already on to book 3. I get better throughout this video of like, I get better of reading my notes and like taking notes and everything, so don't worry. But here's some like fun little highlights. Scroll of upgrade. Warning, this item has a short shelf life. Maybe it's not as good as getting something new, but sometimes it's better to just take something you're already comfortable with and improve upon it. Kind of like buying your girl new tits. Felt that. Been there, done that. Quote, the final battle's here. The creature, an elf, squealed, his voice cracking. He cackled with laughter. His hand stopped trailing smoke. You may have scared off the Kraus, but you will not do the same to me. I have trained my entire life for this moment. I have used dark magic to lure your familiar into my trap. Carl and Donut, blasphemers, prepare to taste the ultimate death. His hands started to glow red. Now watch as I kicked him in the nuts. As at the same moment, Donut's magic missile slammed into his neck. The elf's head ripped off as he was raised bodily off the ground. I felt my foot shatter his testicles and fracture his pelvis. The dead, now headless elf rose into the air like a rocket. He splattered onto the ground in a heap, blood showering over us. His head tumbled like a poorly inflated soccer ball, coming to a stop in front of Mongo, who picked it up and started shaking it back and forth like a squeaky toy. For a long moment, neither Donut nor I said anything. I slowly turned to look at the cat. Who the hell was that? Like, some of these are longer than others, but that whole section of, like, how he just killed the fucking... The goddamn city elves is so dumb. He looked like a normal elf to me, Donut said, but he was a little crazy. He knew our names. Yeah, I don't know why he knew you, said Mordecai. But anyways, on the surface, you had a small segment of society who believed really crazy things. Like aliens walked among the people, that lizard folk had taken over the highest levels of government. You know what I'm talking about, right? It was such a fourth wall breakup, was great. Mordecai scoffed. Yeah, but not the reptilians. Those guys run a shadow government. Please. The last reptilian I knew couldn't even properly run a fantasy football league. Anyway, I'm talking about crazy conspiracy nuts, people who believe the government is trying to use mind control on them, secret societies, gay frogs who shoot tracking microchips into you using cellular towers, and so on and so forth. Not your run-of-the-mill conspiracy theorists, but those who go the extra mile. Tinfoil hat-wearing, silver-drinking nut jobs. The kind of people who cover their vehicle with crazy schizophrenic text about radio signals coming from toilets. The best way to describe conspiracy theorists, like absolute wackos. That I just love was such a fun paragraph of like what Mordecai, how he described the city elves. And then it goes on. So alien abductions were really a thing, I said. Imagine that. What about the probes? Donut asked. When I say I'm talking about like in Carl's voice. Donut asked. I remember them talking about the probes on television. I assume you're talking about anal probes? Avo asked. Yes, we've heard about this as well. If that really happened, it was likely done by the Null. You called them the Greys. They are a nasty, unpleasant race. Perverts, all of them. Making it to where it's like the gray aliens are the ones that are actually only doing the alien anal probes is like fucking a great, also fourth wall breaking meta shit. And that's all the highlights that I have for for book 2. Yeah, like I said, I kind of like, I get better at taking notes. I get better at doing my highlights. Book 3 is called The Dungeons Anarchist Cookbook. And here's the little excerpt from this.
The top 10 list is populated. The sponsorship program is open. The difficulty is ramping up. The first 3 floors were nothing compared to what Carl and Donut now face. The Iron Tangle. An impossibly complicated subway system built out of the world's subterranean rail systems, all combined and then tied together into a knot. Up is down, down is up, close is far. The cars are filled with monsters, the railway stations are less than safe, and the exit is always just a few stops away. But there's hope. For the first time, the crawlers are now all working together. The loot is better than ever, and the secrets to unraveling it may be hidden in the passages of a seemingly useless book.
Welcome, crawlers. Welcome to the 4th floor of the dungeon. And with each book, the series continues to exceed my expectations of LitRPG and of just fantasy books in general. This, like, once you're getting to this book, like, this is truly how LitRPGs should be written. They're exciting, they're crazy, they're hilarious, and also with heart and passion. You begin to really love the fucking characters, and you're wanting to see them grow, you're wanting to see what's gonna happen. And here are a lot of the things in book 3 that I wrote in my notes that I just absolutely loved. So, Mongo finally getting a saddle. Incredible. Incredible for Princess Donut. The last paragraph in chapter 7, it's intense and a huge cliffhanger, and I just want to keep reading and reading to kind of understand what it means. The description of the bloodless sprite is so fucking metal, and I 1000% would be something I would have chosen as a character, because Astrid is truly, like, so gnarly. Chapter 12. The whole move. That's it. Sick and genius. The whole move. Chapter 14. Saying Santa gives out shield bricks to history's greatest villains, like Hans Gruber, was a perfect line. Because Die Hard is in fact the best Christmas movie ever made. Okay? I love the Die Hard reference in that. Chapter 22. The last couple pages of what happens to Katya with Heclia, it's kind of like, it also wasn't really the biggest fan of Katya. I kind of felt the same way Carl did, like never really knowing if you could trust her, but like her character growth at this point is like fantastic. Chapter 25, The Enchanted Wrestling Belt of the Great Gorgo is a great nod to King Kong Bundy, and now I understood why like the quote at the beginning of the book was from King Kong Bundy. I'm a massive wrestling fan, so this was like really special that Dinniman kind of threw in a little bit of something for the wrestling fans, because when you're opening the book, you're seeing a quote from each person that does relate somehow in the book, and it was a great connection to kind of put it together. Chapter 28, the bowing to Princess Donut as everyone applauded and dropped their hats. It's like so sweet and so funny, and really they like make it so specifically Princess Donut. Chapter 33, the fight scene with the Mimic and the Mantar. Incredibly vivid. It felt like I felt right there in the moment. And then like Katya also like changing into Carl was fucking crazy. The chapter 34, I put a quote, I thought everybody, this was like a really precious moment. And this is what Carl says. I thought of everybody here with me. They'd all jumped into certain death just to save me. Me. I couldn't have survived without them. All my life, I'd felt alone, and now, at the edge of the apocalypse, I finally realized how much I needed other people. And reading that came at the perfect time, and it was perfect for Carl's journey and to kind of like remind us all as well, like we aren't alone. And then here's some of the highlights that I have. These little sections from like the system. Hello, Crawler. As you're about to find, this is a very special book. If you're reading these words, it means this book has found its way into your hands for one purpose and one purpose only. Together, we will burn it all down to the ground. Talking about the cookbook that Carl finds. There is nothing about owning this book or the information hidden within that is against the rules. However, if the organization running this season begins to suspect that the book is more than it appears, or if you tell anyone about the existence of this book, the information within will erase, and you will forever lose access to the hidden text. This is important. While this book contents may be invisible, your actions are not. You must become an actor. Every recipe, every secret, if utilized, must be presented to the outside world as if you're discovering this all on your own. How do you do that is up to you. Do not spend too much time staring at these pages. At this point, I was like, I want to fucking know what's in this goddamn book. What's in the box? So here's the description of Astrid. She's a bloodlust sprite, level 125, assistant manager of the Desperado Club. The bloodlust sprite is one of the rarest, most deadly of the sprites. They are naturally imbued with cardiovascular magic, allowing them a wide range of attacks and abilities over any creature that uses a circulatory system. It is said they have the ability to cause one's heart to beat so quickly it literally bursts into flames, which is both disgusting and one of the most metal things ever. If I had to build a character, a bloodlust sprite, are you kidding? Fucking great. Because a lot of monsters and characters have circulatory systems. Like, fucking so rad. This is about 36% in the book. It says, go on, I said, holding up a second finger, and then I'm going to cast a spell that will peel the skin off you and your friends, but I'm not going to kill you. I have another spell to keep you alive even after you've been flayed. It'll be a journey of pain unlike anything that has ever been experienced in this world. I held up a third finger. A hole appeared in the metal plate. Fast as I could, I reached through, grabbed the surprised elf-like creature by his long silver hair, and pulled. The moment I pulled his head through the hole, Donut snapped the spell off. I let go, and the severed head dropped to the ground, mouth still wide open. What was that, bitch? I didn't quite get the last part. That's what Carl says. That was the whole move in chapter 12. This is chapter 14. Shieldbrick. If Santa gives coal to the regular naughty kids, he'd probably give this stuff to the history's greatest villains like Hans Gruber and the guy who invented those shoes with the individual toes built in. It burns a lot hotter and a lot longer than regular coal, and when I say a lot longer, I mean until the end of your lifetime, so like a week or more. To save you distress, I'm going to tell you where this came from. That was a lie. It's a baby corpse! Like, just fucking batshit crazy. Batshit crazy. This is talking about chapter 25, the enchanted wrestling belt of the Great Gorgo. However, she did snag one more awesome item. She got something called a Platinum Slam Master Box. She got it for killing a certain amount of mobs using her momentum. I watched as the item appeared. It was a gold wrestling belt, like any regular heavyweight belt that they give to the WWE star. While you'll never be as amazing as the great, most beautiful wrestler of all time, Christopher Allen Palace, you will look pretty snazzy when you wrap this bad boy around your waist. And if you didn't know who Christopher was, he's the great King Kong Bundy, and that's where the beginning of the book quote comes from, and here's a little put together. Book 4 is titled The Gate of the Feral Gods.
A floating fortress occupied by warrior gnomes, a castle made of sand, a derelict submarine guarded by malfunctioning machines, a haunted crypt surrounded by lethal traps. It was supposed to be easy. One bubble, 4 castles, 15 days, capture each one, and the stairwell is unlocked. Here's the thing, it's never easy. Carl and his team can't go alone. Not this time. They must rely on the help of the low levels. The I can't believe these idiots are still alive crawlers that are trapped in the bubble with them. But can they be trusted?
Welcome, crawlers. Welcome to the 5th floor of the dungeon. At this point, too, the reading journey has become emotionally, truly an emotional roller coaster. It's hilarious giggles and badass fights along the way, and I really have grown to love these characters and loathe others. So here are my favorite parts about book 4. I'm literally not even 3 pages in, and Dinniman manages to make me cackle with the vape shop counter jockey as a fucking class, and it's like, at this point, I'm like, I can't. And here's a little highlight from it. Donut quickly read off some of the classic choices. None of them had a flying ability. Many sounded more interesting and exotic than usual, like Ninetails and Demigod Attendant. Though there were a few in there that had to be a joke, like Vape Shop Counter Jockey. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. The setup of the level is honestly wicked, and the fact that the crawlers must work together, or at least try to. In chapter 2, Gwendolyn Duet describing the sandcastle of the Mad Dune Mage and its monsters. Like, Dinniman here really knows how to create chaos. In chapter 11, Donut calling Carl her manservant masseuse that especially loves feet. And the foot fetish jokes are alive and well at this point. It continues to be my favorite book from the entire series, or my favorite bits from the entire series. Chapter 12, Katya is truly the one keeping the whole plan together. Her character growth from book 3 has been incredible to watch. Her skills are really showing up at really important moments on this journey, and I was really skeptical about her first, but she definitely has grown on me. I really am reading this notes straight from my brain. Chapter 13, the revenge of the gerbils and the AI is getting blue balls. The reward, the gold makeup sex, is the best sex box. Hilarious. Chapter 14, honestly pissed at Donut for the move with Chris and Maggie, and I really hope that doesn't come back to bite them in the ass, because Carl should have put Chris out of his misery. Chapter 16, a wild goose chase. Literally, holy fuck, I honestly didn't see that coming. Chapter 18, fuck Loida. What a sneaky genius move by Carl, especially making sure that Donut also didn't have had a clue at all. Chapter 19, secret Asian man style murders. That's all I'm gonna say. Chapter 26 and 27, Luska, Octoshock Brood Mother Queen, a city boss battle being a special event, just another wild layer in this Watch a Crawler Die livestream. It's a wickedly written fight scene, and it's fully immersed, especially when you're listening to Jeff Hayes narrate. Chapter 29, absolute hatred for Maggie Mai, absolute fucking hatreds. Quote, she once ran over a baby Labrador with her Chevy Tahoe. What a bitch. End quote. Chapter 32, Carl accepting a god even after being warned not to have a deity for the past 32 chapters. Carl, what the fuck are you doing? But also, curious to see how it's gonna pan out at this point. Chapter 33 made me really emotional with the dialogue between Carl and Katya and Princess Donut, and it truly was a tough decision. Chapter 34, the god descriptions from Gideon, and then the fucking epilogue. Are you kidding me with the epilogue? And then also the bonus material at the end of the books always are like really fun to be included, but the epilogue blew my fucking brains out. So here's another little, here's some highlights. I think, I don't know, my highlights are getting really long at this point, so if you do want to see the highlights from these books, I think I'm gonna, like, since the video is already getting long, I think I'm going to, you guys can go on my Goodreads, my Conway Titty Goodreads, and you can see my highlights from the Dungeon Crawler books, because I have 29 highlights here, and they're like, some of them are paragraphs, some of them are little sentences, but you guys can check them out. So I'm just gonna keep, we're gonna keep moving this video along. Book 5 is called The Butcher's Masquerade.
A lush jungle teeming with danger, savage dinosaurs seeking blood, a fallen princess intent on vengeance. A mysterious end-of-floor celebration for the top crawlers, dubbed The Butcher's Masquerade. The 6th floor, the hunting grounds. As the remaining crawlers battle for their lives, a new terrible threat looms. Outside, tourists are finally allowed to enter the game, and they are here and ready to hunt. Among them is Vraw, a famed and veteran hunter intent on collecting the biggest trophy of her career. But their prey is far from harmless, and this season they are fighting back.
Book 5 is my favorite dungeon crawler book. This Butcher's Masquerade is number one and I know it's a lot of people's number ones too. Like, it is genuinely crazy. Like, I don't have words for it because it's so fucking intense and it is so crazy and it is like such an incredible journey. This is where the books are starting to get thick, getting real thick. Here are some of my thoughts and favorite parts from book number 5. Chapter 1, Donut. I'll tell you, but only if you promise not to get mad at me. Carl, what did you pick? Donut. I'm a bard! I'm a legendary diva! And honestly, my reaction was like, oh my fucking god, here we go. They finally did it. They finally made fucking Donut a bard. Like, if you know, you know. Chapter 3, quote, we're in a hurry, so we need to get past the first date finger bang jitters and move straight to the part where we argue about me smoking too much. Honestly, like, Quasar, that's a line, like, what chef's kiss of a fucking line? Like, one of those lines you wish, like, you wrote yourself, and the entire dialogue with Quasar is, like, just multi-layered perfection, but, like, that line specifically I just loved so much. Chapter 6, Miriam being a vampire and floating away to feed on something because she needs blood to survive, and Donut saying, I don't know if she can turn into a bat, or if sunlight hurts her, or if she's allergic to garlic. She's Italian, so that'd probably be extra terrible if she couldn't use garlic. I was snort laughing. And like, also Miriam's hellspawn pet is gnarly and cool, and I love it. Chapter 11, I literally wrote more Mongos, and now Mongo has a baby mama, and Donut is most displeased. Chapter 15, Arrow of Enthusiastic Gonorrhea. It doesn't surprise me like one bit. The whole description of it is like fucking batshit crazy. Chapter 19, Donut told B off. Like, honestly, at this point, I'm like, way to go, Donut. And the dialogue sequence here was like really intense. And I also like don't trust Audette whatsoever. And she seemed helpful in book 4. And now I like don't really know at this point what her angle is. Chapter 22, I wasn't ever supposed to be in real danger. And then Carl like kind of like leaning into the stupid accountant hunter, like, real danger. This is your fun. Do you know what I do every day? And it's like, what a moment where then Donut immediately saying, hurry up, you're doing a bad guy soliloquy thing, and just kind of like snaps out of this intense scene and breaks the character heaviness. And I really do enjoy moments like this in the book. It's like, it's intensity followed by hilarity. Chapter 29, finally a hint at Donut and Carl running into Lucia Marr. And then in chapter 30, it's like, at this point, how dare they leave us with Donut and Lucia Marr cliffhanger while Carl is whisked away to CrawlerCon. Chapter 37, Donut's entire battle scene with Lucia Marr, and like Donut really being a genius here. It's like the singing for the entourage spell, the invisibility, the whole switch. Like, what a great plan that Dinniman created for Donut that we know that Donut would have thought of. Chapter 42, Zev telling Carl he should be focusing on the 6th floor while he continues to only kind of focus on floors 9 and up. It's like the entire series I've been screaming that. It's like every time it's brought up and Carl's focusing on like the bigger floors, it's like, bruh, you need to take one floor at a time. Focus on what is happening now. You'll get to that eventually. Literally, chapter 47, all I wrote was Pony and Miriam. Damn. But also, damn is the best way to describe that entire scene. Chapter 62, quote, "Is it? Because the last I looked, this was the royal court of Princess Donut, not the stupid team of stupid dictator Carl and his abused slave cat, Princess Donut." I just thought that line was so fucking funny. It's like, because Carl was trying to be like the team leader and Donut was like, "You fucking idiot." It just was so funny. Chapter 6. At this point, I loathe Eva. I fucking loathe. But the last page of this chapter, it's like, what's gonna happen? What the fuck's happening? Chapter 69, Donut being full pageant mode mom is hilarious. And being like, "Do you even see this? He wasn't even prepared. I have this in the bag." Like, Donut and Mongo together are just so fucking amazing. I love it. Chapter 70, I wrote, "Absolutely pissing myself at Donut and Mongo's stage performance. Using all of Carl's expensive smoke bombs, pyrotechnics, and music. It's like, it's so fucking funny and unnecessary. But something we all expected like Donut to do. The fact that she is still in full pageant mode mom, but she needed to have all of these things to make it a performance, because that's just Princess Donut in a nutshell." Chapter 72 broke my fucking brain. It literally broke my brain. I wrote, "Princess Donut having a 276 charisma." Absolutely mega game breakage here. This, gentle peoples, is exactly why you should be stacking your buffs, items, and stat points truly matter in games. Like, this is a moment why it's so fucking important. It's a number that's just wild, but it's also like not impossible, which makes this entire mission all the more canon and also a just well played move by Dinniman. Chapter 73. Anyways, here's Wonderwall. That's it. That's all I got for you. Chapter 74, the recital. Precious, like genuinely precious, and made me smile. The absurdity of it, but I could like easily see every detail of like Tina and the Velociraptors. Tina, the big beautiful ballerina, got to dance her not so little heart out. And it was another little sweet moment that you're breaking away from the like hilarity of it, but you're also like, wow, this is actually like really cute and precious, and I really enjoy that. Chapter 76, probably my favorite chapter out of the entire book. The writing made this scene really kind of come to life. The entire battle played picture perfect in my head. Like, it was so good. And then the epilogue. What the actual fuck? Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. My jaw's dropping. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm screaming, and I'm immediately running to get book 6. And at this point, book 6 just released for me, because I read these in May. Book 6 just came out, I think like May 13th of 2025, so recently, and I was able to run and grab book 6 in the physical copy as well, which was like fucking awesome. And then at the end of Butcher's Masquerade, there's a special song that Donut sings, and it sings the entire song, so I highly recommend. Like I said, you're getting so much bonus material and like introductions and epilogues and story times with the audio narration, so make sure you're doing that. And on to the last book of Dungeon Crawler Carl that I have read. I know 7 is already out. The hard copy of 7 comes out, I believe, in like September. So book 6 is called The Eye of the Bedlam Bride.
A pantheon of forgotten gods, an old grudge between a talk show host and an heiress and the man they shadowed along the way. A rapidly deteriorating AI system, an inconvenient tiara upon the head of a friend. It is Bedlam on the 8th floor. As management reels from the unexpected conclusion of the 7th floor, the surviving crawlers stumble onto the 8th and find themselves scattered. It's a map based on Earth's final days before the collapse, where ethereal and tangible ghosts of humanity go about their lives, oblivious of the impending doom. Living among these ghosts are monsters based in Earth lore, legendary creatures tied to the geographical locations they inhabit. Each team of crawlers is given a task: find and capture 6 of these beasts. The captured monsters will be turned into cards that can be summoned into battle again and again. The stronger and deadlier the better. At the end of the floor, the bad guys will also have decks, and they will have some of the most powerful cards available. So it is crucial to assemble the toughest squad possible. But, like always, there's a catch. There's always a catch. As Carl and Donut know all too well, just because someone is captured, it doesn't mean they have been tamed. Her name is She Maria. She's easily the most powerful monster in the area. If they want to survive, they must capture her. But she is no ordinary beast. She is intelligent. She was once married to a god who is now missing. Her special attacks is known to drive one insane. They call her the Bedlam Bride.
And for the entirety of book 6 was also another ride. The journey keeps getting better and better with every word. There's a lot going on in this book specifically. It is a thick boy. So please make sure, like, please fucking pay attention, or you will get lost. Like, you 100% get lost if you are not paying attention. I don't believe this book is a very good audiobook to listen to while you're like doing a bunch of other tasks and you're not like really paying attention. I believe this book is amazing to be able to sit down and read with the audiobook, so you're like extra focused. And also, if you don't like heavy fantasy books, honestly, why are you even bothering with the series? But it is so great, you will want to finish. I'm kind of gonna talk about now my favorite parts in book 6. So the prologue, wowza, I wasn't expecting to find out immediately like what happened between Mordecai and Odette, but I'm glad we finally know at this point. Chapter 5, these new crawlers are up to something and Princess Donut is feared everywhere. And then Google's like, I literally put Google's what does a Havana brown cat look like? Chapter 9, giving Geraldo cheesy kung fu noises to his fighting style is one of the dumb details that just make the entire series so funny. Chapter 13, emotionally intense and finally glad to learn even more about Carl's backstory. Chapter 18, quote, did you just rip your dick off and throw it at me? End quote. That's all I wrote on that one. Chapter 21, it literally just says juice box with a bunch capitalized and a bunch of question marks and exclamation points. Chapter 22, Oozy Jesus. Fucking Oozy Jesus. Hilarity of it is so fucking stupid. I love it. Chapters 23 through 44, I kind of like completely forgot to write notes down because I was so consumed in the book at this point. So I literally forgot to write notes. I forgot to like mark highlight sections of it. I was so just like engrossed. So yeah, anywhere from like chapter 23 to 44, I don't really have like any notes for it. But chapter 45, all hail Patrick Warburton. But oh my God, holy shit. If you don't know who Patrick Warburton is, he's just an incredible voice actor. He's an incredible actor in general. Like, please Google him if you like the name's not connecting, then you'll know who I'm talking about. But this is the special guest in this entire scene. He plays Carl's dad and he plays like the better Carl, which is also really funny. Chapter 46, the remnants Hydra of malicious compliance. The fighting scene and the entire sequence is fucking crazy. Is so detailed and very intense and crazy. Chapter 48, Lewis gets it. Like, Lewis gets something that Carl has missed this entire time. Let people enjoy the fake Christmas. Most of them won't be there to enjoy anything else with them. So it's like, Lewis says, tonight it's fucking Christmas and we're gonna have fun and drink some goddamn eggnog and open presents. Like, such an important detail. And then also in chapter 48, the AI, like, everyone trying to ban the faction wars. It just like, at this point, it becomes so intense. In chapter 52, I literally put, Imani, no! And then like, I've never turned a page faster to head to the next chapter. I need to know what happens. It's like the last sentence of chapter 52. Chapter 56, the fight scene was wildly descriptive. There's a lot of moving parts, so you can get lost here if you are not paying attention. Chapter 58, Quan, honestly, fuck that guy. But damn, did his toss-up card just absolutely wreck everything. If I was Rin, I would have just walked away at the point, because like, Jesus fucking Christ. Also, chapter 58, Oozy Jesus getting resurrected is so fucking stupid, and I couldn't help but audibly laugh hysterically at the words, creating this like movie in my head. And then him also saying like, dad damn it, had me in stitches. Like, I was laughing so hard my sides were hurting. Instead of saying god damn it, he's saying dad damn it. And I just like, that little detail is like, those are what makes this fucking book so funny. Chapter 59, I cried. I absolutely bawled my eyes out at this entire exchange with Ren, especially with Ren and her pet Garrett, the tummy acher. I was sobbing reading just at this. Oh my God, it was so fucking sad. Chapter 62, the whole chapter is just like batshit crazy in the best of ways, but one of my favorite lines is Rezan says, why does that cat always type in caps? And Donut says, why didn't your mother dribble you back out onto the truck stop bathroom floor, Rezan? I can't remember if it's Rezan or I don't remember the name, how it's pronounced. My brain just not thinking correctly right now. But that line was so fucking funny. Chapter 65, Leroy Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins! If you don't get that reference, you're probably too young to be reading this book in general because you probably won't get most references in this book. Please look up Leroy Jenkins on YouTube. Leroy Jenkins World of Warcraft, and you'll understand that reference. But that's basically what it felt like in chapter 65, was that whole little section. Chapter 68, finally understanding why the book cover underneath the dust jacket says, "I need a baby seal," because underneath the dust jackets on the hardcovers has some sort of phrase or wording that references something in the book, but the fact that this one says, "I need a baby seal," and at this point, book 6 has been nothing but like pure like mind fucking insanity, and I just was like, everything I'm reading, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That would happen. Because you're so consumed in the like hilarious chaos of everything and the world building and like everything that's going on that you're just like, of course that's what's happening right now. What the fuck? And you kind of stop saying like, what the actual fuck. But then in chapter 71, you're going, what the actual fuck? And she, Maria, being a bitch, like, I fucking hate her at this point. I fucking loathe her. Like, she's the bane of my existence at this point in the fucking book. And then chapter 72. Poor Mongo, he's a sweet little baby. He does nothing wrong. Poor Mongo don't do nothing. He's a sweet little baby. He not do nothing. And then also the epilogue, I literally wrote, again, what the fuck? Exclamation point, question mark, like a bunch of those just over and over and over and over. I know this video was kind of long, but that's my little, I could have made it a little shorter if I didn't read some of the highlights from the first couple of books. But if you want to see my full in-depth highlights, please go look them up on my Goodreads. That's where you can find them at. This series is fucking incredible. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so excited. I started book 7. I'm about 4 chapters in, but I think I'm gonna stop until it's in hard copy form in September, and then I'll pick it up and read it. I'm so fucking pumped. This series has been extraordinary. I'm so excited to see where the story is actually gonna take us from here on out. It's absolutely incredible. If you are a big fan of Dungeon Crawler Carl, which you probably are since you clicked on this video, please let me know in the comments what your favorite fucking line is or section. Oh my god, there's so many funny parts, but you have a favorite. As I said, Butcher's Masquerade is 100% my favorite book. I'm glad I had an opportunity to be able to dissect this book and tell my favorite parts because it really is such a fucking hilarious read. But I appreciate you guys sticking around through it and just like giggling and laughing at me on the way, or being like, yes, I do remember that section, or oh my god, I don't remember that section. Let me go back and reread the series. Like, understand why it's so hyped. After reading the entire series, I was like, it's well deserved. It's so well written. It's so creative. It's so funny on so many levels. But once again, I appreciate you guys making it all the way and watching. Make sure to follow me on Goodreads or Fable. Fable is way better. You can literally organize your stuff way better. I have lists of things. It's so aesthetically pleasing. Fable is way better than Goodreads, so go get it on Goodreads. Okay? Fuck Goodreads. Go get a Fable, okay? It's way better. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are. Please stay hydrated, get some rest, eat some food, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, bye-bye!